pop music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we good? There we are. Hello, everyone. Hello, internet friends and webcomic fans. As always, your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist here to welcome you to another episode of Trash Heroes, the D&D stream, wherein we recount the epic adventures of our wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures that we call the Trash Heroes. As always, our players are this collection of talented internet cartoonists. You can see the links to all of their works on the internet in the upper right corner. As always, I'm not going to point because I always do it wrong. Maybe if I deliberately point left, maybe that'll work. I don't know if I'm pointing correctly. Someone will figure it out.
Yes, you're doing it right this time.
Huzzah! Huzzah! So, without further ado, let us meet the characters. As always, we have our keeper of the vermin, protector of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle.
That's me.
And we have our larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar, Ugna Sugartusks. Our trickster cleric, rogue baker, and general party animal, Tromlin Dariols. Our all-natural Genasi swamp druid, Galorpa. And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who is also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
Hi there.
So when we last left our heroes, we had just made it past a trap that was elaborately set, or maybe not so elaborately because it was just a couple of crazy spirit demon things that assaulted our party on the road from. Actually, this is a good time to switch to the map, Alina, if you don't mind.
Map. Map is live.
The map is live. Let's see if it'll register my clicking. Oh, I see the circle. I don't know if everyone else does. But assuming that that's showing up on the stream, the place where the Great Ring Road crosses the Stormbrook near the town of Stormhill, at the ravine, a pair of shadowy raven monsters assaulted the caravan, attempting to kidnap Otto Thriftwick, the somewhat sketchy and obnoxious merchant who is traveling with the group. Now, I want to do a little bit of a retcon here, because at the end of last game, Glorpa had turned into a horse to try and calm the other horses down, and then turned back into a humanoid form in order to make healing potions to get everyone on their feet.
Of course I did.
But it occurs to me that Glorpa could just as easily turn back into a horse afterwards, because you haven't used any wild shapes today other than the one. So
yeah, I was hoping to get back to that horse shape. I mean,
to start with, and I know at the end of the last one we said that you guys crossed the ravine and made it partway to Stormhill, but in fact you don't have to haul this wagon by hand, because between Glorpa as a draft horse and the summoned spectral phantom steed that someone summoned, maybe it was Copernicus, maybe it wasn't. Between those two beasts of burden, you can hitch up the wagon and actually still be able to move at reasonable speed, especially if Ugna gets behind and pushes.
Just like a big snowstorm. Done this before.
I mean, as long as y'all are in favor of doing manual labor, it's fine. I'm a 3.5 foot tall kobold, so I'm not really capable of helping much.
Is Ugna? I'm picturing Ugna with one hand on each horse ass pushing. Is that what we're talking about? Because I'm in.
Coughing feels gently.
Just a little squeeze every once in a while.
She just picks up both horses and pulls.
This is how you do this, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this means that you actually, as Diomedes would prefer, you actually have the ability to potentially press on and make it to Stormhill tonight. And Diomedes will absolutely make the case for this, because the reason he would prefer moving on is there may be more of these things out there, and he really doesn't want to be camping in the middle of nowhere and have more of these shadow raven demonic things appear out of nowhere and attack.
That seems very reasonable.
So what I would like from you then, from the group, is going to be some further exhaustion rolls, because you're going to push on, and we're going to see how late it gets by the time you make it there once you go beyond the normal day's march. Now, I had said before that Copernicus, who had a level of exhaustion, because you've spent the day traveling without actually having to do anything by riding on the wagon, or on Ugna. First Ugna, then the wagon, after Diomedes and his Loxodon crew joined you guys. So by the end of this travel day, that counts as effectively another rest, and you gain back your level of exhaustion goes away. So you're starting with, so everyone is starting with no levels of exhaustion.
Nice.
At the end of this day's travel. So you can fairly quickly get this hitching up of animals dealt with. Glorpa, you're a big ol' big booty draft horse, and there's a weird,
Big
partly
booty draft
see-through green phantom demon steed hitched up next to you on this wagon.
My color.
Um,
Dorf is enjoying it.
and of course, the other horses are not too happy about this new guy. But they are being led by one of the mercenaries a short distance away, since they're all still at least partly injured. They're being led along by the mercenary soldiers, and they'll kind of look over at you and Demon Horse, and generally give you the vibe, since you can basically speak horse while you're a horse.
Is this Glorse? Like, does this horse have the personality of Glorpa, or is it like I've
Oh,
taken
yes,
over
you're
another
mine.
horse?
You're mine, but the body of a horse.
I love
Animorph
this.
rules.
Just
Animorph
like my
rules.
fan fiction.
Just like third grade for me.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
Your
druids are
horse
furries.
Sona.
Yeah, the horses are all kind of like, ooh, 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 ooh. They're really not happy about that that crazy demon thing as they're being led along.
I mean, mood.
They're all
What's
giving you
up,
side
fellow
eye.
horses?
It opens its mouth to whinny, but there's just like a banshee wail.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, basically the noises it makes sound like they're screams in another universe that are coming through some tiny tears in reality. Basically,
Perfectly
the
normal
noises it
horse.
makes.
Good horse.
Perfectly normal.
Good horse.
Yep. And Copernicus has, I will remind you all, has claimed that this horse was summoned by Glorpa.
I believe him.
And Glorpa is,
Tromblin and I exchange a very significant look anytime he mentions this.
Glorse believes him too, probably. I don't know. Who knows what I can't do?
Man, imagine how good oats would probably taste to you right now.
does anybody wish to feed the horses? You have food.
Yes,
I?
I'll feed the horses.
I pet
Give,
the horse.
give Glorpa a carrot.
Just like my fan fiction.
I'm sure I have a sugar cube on me. Here you go, Glorpa.
Ho ho.
Excellent. Thank you.
That big old horse tongue. Just
Yeah.
Oh.
I have no food on me, so I'm going to attempt to feed
You have hard
the
candies.
horses hard candy. Yeah, I was going to see if they go for hard candy.
It's like a sugar
That's
cube.
like a sugar cube.
Maybe,
It's pretty similar.
maybe you could feed the demon horse some blood.
If you offer some blood, the demon horse will happily. It's like if you have it in the palm of your hand, like and then like when you're feeding a real horse, and it's just licking.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely
Alright,
keep
I'll
your
give
thumb
What
out of
kind
the
of-
way.
I'll give
I
this
need like
chicken
the kobold equivalent of a horse.
In
Like
fact,
a capybara
That is a
covered in
dog.
trash. Yeah, yes,
Just
a
a-
dog.
literally a dog.
Possum.
A dog with a
A
saddle.
hairless chihuahua.
Oh no.
We know eventually at some point you will be all saddled up to ride somewhere, and you're gonna have to get a smooth collie for
Oh
Fetid
god.
to ride on.
But like just a
I think.
mangy, patchy one.
Oh yeah.
Might have to be a bit of a bigger dog. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like Ollie probably weighs about the same as Fetid does. I
Yeah.
think they're both about 50 pounds, so I don't know if he would take to a saddle very well. Also, he spends most of the day asleep. He wouldn't be a very good
Oh,
pack
That's
animal.
kind of most dogs. I'll actually point out for Copernicus, this ritual, the summoned phantom steed, only lasts for an hour. So
Okay.
you actually will need to take a little hit point damage to use your blood magic to maintain that space. So if you cut your hand and feed the phantom steed every once in a while, you can extend that.
Just like
Oh,
a
the
real
horse has bitten me again.
horse is real
Yeah,
mighty.
I'm,
Well, you can just
I'm
kind of
definitely
mime
going
it.
to.
You could like put the hard candy in your hand, surreptitiously cut yourself,
Yeah.
and then here you go.
Yeah. Oh
See
no!
how that goes.
Such a nasty bite. Well, no use in crying over spilt blood. May as well lick it up there. There you are. Totally normal interaction with a horse we're all having here.
Horses
very
really
nice.
like blood. Well-known
Mhm.
fact.
I mean, they
Very
are
well
Um, so in this way, fairly quickly you cross the bridge, just as it's now getting on towards the slow beginning of dusk. And that was the main thing you wanted to do today. But as I said, Di wants to press on and make it to town for safety's sake. So at this point, you're going to be moving beyond the normal day's march. So I would like everyone to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Can I ride something so that I don't have to do that? I don't want to do that.
Yes, there's still room for both you and Otto on the cart.
Is
Okay.
it
I'm
23
going to pull the old
sufficient?
man card.
Nice. Is a 23 sufficient?
Yes. Wait, let me check. Oh, hang on. I gotta double check. Yes.
If it's not, everyone
a
else
13
is
with-
screwed.
Oh, geez, right. I got a 13 with the bonus.
That'll do it.
All right. We've got our
12.
range.
What's that?
12.
12? That'll still do it for the first one. The saving throw difficulty is basically 10 plus the amount of time that you're pressing on, and I'm going to have you roll every couple hours. So the maximum it's going to be for the first roll is at 12. Is good enough. And how's Fetid doing?
I rolled a 4.
Ooh.
Cool.
I'm
So
tired.
Fetid is getting exhausted. Now the first level of exhaustion, I do believe, is not too big of a deal. It just gives you a disadvantage on any skill checks that you need to make. So let's move on to a second roll, because that's going to get you guys a couple hours beyond when you would have normally camped for the night. Let's have a second roll and see how that goes.
21.
Yeah, I think you're good.
I think I'm okay.
Ugna, what's your bonus?
Like 6?
Nice.
Yeah.
I rolled a total of 8.
Oh no.
Okay, so Glorpa is going to start getting a little worn out.
I mean, look at this card I'm pulling. I'm not really
actually,
pulling.
what did
Just
you actually roll? What was your dice roll?
a 6.
Because I believe you have the physical stats of the horse.
Correct.
God, I'm gonna use this all the time.
Correct.
But that's okay. So anybody else? What else have we got?
I got a 9.
Okay. And how's Tromlin doing?
20.
Oh.
I wasted a crit on this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you already had some,
Exhaustion.
exhaustion, I would have said you got rid of a level, but you don't, so it's does nothing at all.
Truly wasted. Truly wasted.
Yep.
But you look real
Um,
fresh.
You're like
Yeah,
real
you're like,
sprightly as you're walking along.
This is invigorating.
Can I roll to annoy Otto with endless stories while we roll along?
You don't need to
Do
roll.
you need to
That's
roll
a
for
free
that?
action.
I think you should
succeed.
roll just to give
Yeah.
us an idea of how bad it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll exhaustion for Otto, not because he's marching, but because he's listening to you.
But putting up with your shit.
Oh, he's really getting worn out. He's
I'm gonna
falling
use-
asleep on
I'm gonna use
the cart.
performance, I guess, for storytelling here. So only a
Oh,
9.
if you roll a performance roll, you might actually be entertaining to him and not annoying him.
Well, good thing I rolled low. I got a 9. So I just drone
Yep,
on.
he's very much annoyed.
I
So
feel like Perny needs like a D100 for like 100 different random stories that you might tell.
make a table,
Yeah.
Copernicus story table.
Mhm.
If only someone had designed a procedurally generated deck that comes up with story premises.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems like a decent idea.
I don't know. That is a good idea.
That's a
Someone
real good
should
idea.
kickstart something like that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that
Some
would
kind
be,
of
starting
engine.
to-
Some kind of engine for
Mm.
stories.
For stories, yeah.
that's a good concept.
Yeah, solid pitch.
That was me
solid
going to
pitch.
check
Ah,
because
well.
Meg just ran into the back of the green screen. She's
It doesn't
okay.
even have a window. It's
No.
not even clear.
No, she just
No
straight on flew into
excuses,
it.
Bird. So at this point, a few hours in, so it's now truly night. The sun is setting. Fetid is starting to flag. So Fetid is actually at a second level of exhaustion, which means your speed is halved.
Mhm.
So this is now actually starting to affect travel. So what are you guys going to do about that? Fetid is really having trouble keeping up.
I
I
will
mean,
give.
I'm small. You can put me in a sack and just throw me on the wagon.
I'm willing to
We
trade
can throw it
spots
in the
with
back
him.
of one of the horses.
Yep.
Let it slap like truck nuts.
Yep. We'll just
That's
tie
how
you
I'm
up
used to traveling.
in your bedroll.
Most of the time, they don't let me actually sit in the wagon if I'm going somewhere because of the smell and the vermin.
So do you want to? So Ugna want to carry Fetid? Do you want to?
I can make like a
I'll be your
little.
purse.
I get him like a little sack, like a hammock, and just throw
Yeah,
him
I was
over my
gonna say
shoulder.
I'll be your bindle.
I tie you on the end of a stick so my breathing isn't affected.
Well, you can use my bow,
Yeah.
and I'll just hang on the end of the bow like a
Good.
chameleon.
And then
There
I'll
we
push the
go.
wagon with
Great.
my other hand. It's fine.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Lar, if you're hanging out in the chat and you wanted to do a drawing of something that happens in this episode, I think this is the one.
Now it's early. It's early yet.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Yeah, something dumber might happen. You never know.
Will
I spent my
happen.
inspiration to make Lar draw this.
I don't know if Lar is gonna. We'll have to see what rules work on Lar.
Yeah. He's
Roll
so
for
plain,
Lar.
so. Oh, making a note, he says in the chat.
Yay! Hey, Lar.
So Ugna is holding a stick over his shoulder, and we have Fetid hanging like a sloth, basically, with like the
Mhm,
four,
mhm,
all fours just hanging there, snoozing.
mhm.
With flies buzzing.
Yep.
And we're gonna have one more exhaustion roll to see how everybody is doing.
I can't roll below 20. This is very on brand for Ugna.
Mhm.
15 over here.
I was gonna give Ugna a penalty, but it's irrelevant. I never bothered to come up with it because I was like, maybe like a -4 because you're pushing the wagon. Nope, never mind.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It wouldn't affect it. So how do we got for? I just need then Glorpa and Tromlin.
I'm at 15.
7.
Okay, so Tromlin's starting to get a little worn out, but that's your first one as well.
You got too overconfident,
Um,
going hard. Last hour.
So basically,
20.
after a forest march taking you guys past midnight, you're going to come down out of the hills and see at the base of the stream, the mouth where the Stormbrook empties out into the ocean, the town of Stormhill. So Stormhill is a where are we here? Let me pull up my info sheet for today's game. Oh, something I wanted you guys to do, and this is the time to do it. So before I get into that description, I would like perception checks with, remember, those of you who are exhausted, disadvantage. So that means the only people who don't have disadvantage here are Copernicus and Ugna.
I have
God.
10.
Not going to cut.
Oh. 7 plus 5 though.
Oh, not bad.
Well, with the disadvantage too.
Don't eat my character sheet.
But I want to eat the paper.
I have 13.
11 here.
Not great. And Randy?
19.
19
Nice.
with disadvantage.
Nice.
I rolled 2 12s.
Ooh.
Nice. And you've got the big old bonus. So Tromlin and Tromlin alone will notice late into the night as his feet are getting more. Do you have feet or hooves?
Hooves.
I think you drew hooves. So your feet aren't getting sore because they're made of fingernails. But your
I have something like that I can summon, but it looks different.
but your legs are getting tired. You notice out of the corner of your eye at one point a dark shape cross the moon, and as you snap your eyes to kind of get a closer look, you see the pinpricks of red, and you realize that the red-eyed raven is still following and watching. So as you come down out of the hills, then you're going to see the town of Stormhill. Stormhill is not a walled city like Mud Hollow. It's situated on a sizable hill that's right on the coast. There's a shallow ravine running along the north side of the hill, and that is where there's a small stone keep with a bulwark of piled stones along the top of the cliff to provide some defense for the town against raids. There's a small garrison of guardsmen that are quartered there to protect the town. Southward, the town then sprawls down the hill in successive tiers, and at the very bottom are the fishing wharfs and docks that are on the actual seafront. The Stormbrook, as I said, runs out of the crevice you've been basically following as it comes down closer and closer to sea level. And that goes along the southeast side of the hill and into the harbor. And to the west of the town, the Great Ring Road continues onwards along the Shadow Coast out towards Ravenfall. It's late enough at this point that there are only a few fires burning. You can see just a little bit of smoke here and there, very little light. The town is basically asleep. And in fact, there is a wooden gate that has been swung across the road and is shut. Otto, who will rouse himself out of his Copernicus-induced stupor, to inform you that the inns are likely closed at this time of night anyway. And Diomedes will suggest that the group should set up camp outside the gate, just next to the road. It's going to be close enough to the city, close enough to the town that if there's an attack, the guards can be shouts will be heard. It's as safe as setting up camp in the middle of town. So his men will begin to break out a small pavilion tent, and it is in fact just beginning to rain.
My favorite. Even as a horse, especially as a horse.
Oh, we made pretty good
Pickle
time
horse.
getting here. Time to get a campfire going, get some food.
Yeah, you're literally the only one who's still completely fresh.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, oh God, my feet. Oh,
I would like to sit under Glorpa so that I have shelter so that I can read. And just make little notes in my book.
You have your own horse. I mean, I don't know. There's a second horse, and yet
I'll go
I've
like
never seen that horse before in my life.
it seems to really like your hand, though. You guys are like, I.
Oh yeah, there's just like layers of scars now.
it's probably not noticeable. There's been a long time that you've been doing that blood magic. I imagine.
You know the expression, once bitten, twice shy, 12 times bitten, horse can fly. Classic old nursery rhyme.
Ugna will come and
Are you letting the horse?
unhitch Glorpa, and then she'll like look at the spectral horse and be like, is this thing safe to touch?
Oh, I've been wanting to touch it. I just, are all locked up in these things.
Oh,
so.
I mean, also, do you need a rub down?
I mean, by
My fan fiction.
The fan fiction's coming through.
Glorpa's ready.
I mean, like, I don't know if that's weird or anything, but I do know after a big day of work, a horse needs a rub
Yeah,
down.
there's nothing. I don't know what weird means, anyways, and go for it.
I will grab like some hay and start just rubbing down your sides.
I
Getting
would
all
like you
the-
to roll animal handling.
Good.
Let's find out how good this is.
The sexy die, please.
8.
It's not great.
Glorpa's into it.
No, it's not. It's
I think you can
awkward.
roll anything.
You're so wet that the hay just sticks to you, and I'm just kind of smearing it around.
Stromlin raises a hand and says, "May I please help you, my friend?"
Oh yeah, go nuts.
I will
Glorpa's into
roll
this.
my animal handling, and okay. I'm bad at math today. 16.
Excellent. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
he
now
gives a
that's
good rub
that's
down.
nice. That's nice.
This is how you rub a horse.
Tromlin puts
I did the
a
centaur
brush.
once.
Tromlin gets a brush out.
Ah.
This is what you're supposed to do.
Glorpa might wiggle a little too much for you to do this well, but she appreciates it a great deal. Is Perny still underneath
Positive
me?
wiggling.
Yeah. Ernie's still down there with his little book. Or his giant book, rather.
Now that I'm like untethered, if your hand gets anywhere out, I'm going to lick it just out of curiosity because the other horse seemed to super dig it.
Yeah, my
So-
hand's definitely out, and there's definitely layers of blood and scar tissue.
Cool.
Tastes a little metallic.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's
your own
interesting.
salt lick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually.
I'll probably ask Tromlin for if he's able to take a look at my hand, just because the horse just keeps biting it, and it would be really nice to maybe have it patched up a little.
Yes.
Yeah,
kind
he needs
Dad, I will
healing,
have-
in fact. Now I
Oh,
believe
that's
you're
a
out
good
of healing spells. I can't remember. Do you have a healing cantrip?
I still have a healing spell, if I recall.
Let me see if I have a cantrip. But if you have a healing spell,
Yeah, I've got cure wounds.
I
Cool.
do not have any healing cantrip.
Yeah, I don't even remember if there is a healing cantrip.
I don't think
think
there
so.
are.
Fed. I don't think there are.
Yeah,
Mm.
because
I
I
think
think
there's
you can
one.
just do it. Yeah, because you'd always have
I'm
all the
thinking
heals
of-
you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Pathfinder. Sure. So Fetid casts a healing spell on your hand. I didn't
Just
actually
like
make
very
you roll for.
sleepily. I'm like,
You get back some of the hit points you spent on blood
Mhm.
magic.
Nice.
Also, without ceremony, while this is going on, the spectral horse just vanishes, disappears.
I was halfway through trying to like figure out how to unhitch it without it like biting my arm off, and then it's just gone. I'm like, "Huh." That I didn't do
Nice.
it. The horse just, it just poof.
What
It's
a
still in my
strange
heart.
horse.
I'll miss that horse.
So as the tent is getting set up, Otto is going to come over to you guys and be like, well, I'm gonna go. I live here. I have a home. I don't
Oh.
particularly have any interest in sleeping on the ground again when my
you
bed
want
is
us
like
to go-
over there.
Do you want us to escort you to your house to make sure you get there safely?
Do you think that's necessary? That
Well, you never
I
know.
mean-
imagine the town guard are out.
We'd love to know where you sleep and where you keep your key.
Mhm. You're
It's
valuable.
just look. I apologize, Otto. I'm just a little hyper paranoid after our adventure thus far, and I'd like to make sure that we didn't get all the way here for something to happen to you in your own.
Certainly, if it's
I'll walk you home,
across
no
the
problem.
square.
Oh, and then
Alright,
if we need
let's-
to find you, I can come and ask tomorrow. Like maybe we'll see what's going on in town here with the whole
Yes.
thing.
So I assume your first order of business will be a meeting with Mr. Scarfang, the
Sure.
That is the hope.
leader of the bandits.
That-
I will make the arrangements for that meeting first thing in the morning. I'm sure he will be available sometime during the day to meet with you. As I understand it, some of the bandits clearly live within the city or within the town, or have minions within the town. They get their information somewhere. But the actual groups that raid the roads, they're out somewhere in the hills in their hideouts. So I will be sending word to arrange this meeting and get Scarfang to come to you to meet you. Does this sound acceptable?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let us get you home so you can sleep in a real bed and not have to worry about this.
Yes. So the gate across the road is basically like a wooden framework. It's basically just to stop like horses and caravans from just like rolling on into the city, or like raiders on horseback. There are gaps around it where individuals can slip through. It's not like a wall all the way around the city. Again, it's there for defensive purposes, not for actually keeping everyone out.
I've seen how they stop me from stealing shopping carts at the supermarket. I know what this is.
Yeah.
Like the horses around here, their legs lock up if you try and take them past the gate.
They just fall right over. And
Yeah.
They're like those fainting goats.
It's a simple spell. It's a simple spell. It's the
Yeah,
safe
I'll-
way spell.
I'll walk him home if he accepts. And
Just Ugna? Is everyone
Oh
else?
no, I'll go.
staying?
Fernie will
Well,
come
I'll
along.
go.
Yeah, Fernie likes a good stroll.
We'll
He
go
hasn't
for
been
a
walking
walk.
all day, so he should probably
Bernie
stretch
just
his legs.
invites himself.
Oh,
I'm
Dad, what-
I'm actually already asleep in a pile of garbage by the city wall.
I'm glad you
Oh,
found that. I was looking
Granddad?
at that.
Mhm.
you like burrowed
Why
right
don't
in
you
there.
stay behind, Granddad, and get some rest? I'm trying to give Otto a reprieve from my grandfather.
Yeah, you're still being licked up by this horse too, so maybe you're.
All right, well,
Otherwise,
Fernie's not good at taking hints, but he will take orders if you tell him.
Please, Granddad, please stay behind.
Oh, all right. I suppose.
Stay
we've-
under this horse.
Apparently, because if the demon horse is gone and one of the horses is still licking my hand, then one of these horses likes blood. So just that's now canon.
Mhm.
No, the horse
Okay.
that's licking your hand is Glorpa.
She just
Oh,
hasn't stopped.
okay. So Glorpa likes blood. Okay.
Mhm.
Who
You're
doesn't?
Yeah,
you're
just-
salty.
Yeah. Okay. That's
And I'm
fair.
a
What they
horse
say,
now.
once a horse has tasted blood.
I mean, there's no going back.
Yeah.
That's what they
Well,
say. When there's
That is
Yeah.
my
blood
gift
in the
to
stable.
Otto. That's my gift to Otto. We walk home without my grandfather.
Okay, so you go around the gate. The road just goes right on through the town. The town has basically been built around the road, and there's a just one big open square, and all the buildings kind of surround it. On the other side of the square, towards the keep, there's like some of the nicer houses, and merchant stalls basically face onto the square. And one of these nicer houses with a merchant stall, Otto goes straight towards it. and you all walk him over there. He will bang on the door and wait for a moment, bang again. Takes a few minutes, but eventually you see a light of a candle, and a servant comes and opens the door, and is somewhat surprised. Oh, sir, we weren't expecting you until tomorrow. Come in, come in. Are these? Do we need a room made up for these friends?
No, we're fine, thank you. Just wanted to make sure your master returned home safely.
Otto immediately asks them to draw him a bath, and bids you good night.
Sleep well.
Not even good night. Yes. What the fuck? Okay.
Okay. I say them, but there's really probably just one servant. Otto's not like super rich.
And you know that servant is like, these motherfuckers got him back so fucking fast. I had one more night without this piece of shit.
Mhm. Now we're gonna make a bath in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
Right.
So you head back to camp. The pavilion tent has been set up, and Diomedes has a central bed basically where he's holding court. They just basically got a bunch of cushions out of the wagon, and thrown them in the middle of this tent. And Diomedes is just sitting cross-legged in the middle of this this pile, and you imagine he just kind of will slump over and go to sleep in it, in the middle of it, whenever he's ready. The soldiers, the mercenaries, are either curling up in or under the wagon. The I was going to call him an Efreet, but the flame sorcerer, the Genasi, Igneous
Igneous True
is.
Flame.
Yep, Igneous is of course welcome in the tent. Everyone's basically settling down to go to sleep right away. I don't know if you wish to speak with Diomedes or talk amongst yourselves.
Horses
Fetid
sleep
is already
standing up,
asleep.
right?
They
Yes,
can.
Oh
most
yeah,
of
I'm
the
asleep
time.
then.
They can. Actually, more frequently they'll actually lie down, but it depends on where they are.
I imagine it's
How
a little bit
comfortable you
muddy,
feel.
but I also imagine that you don't care.
I prefer that.
Yep.
Soft.
You can
I'll
literally
chat.
like roll in the mud. Horses will literally roll in the dirt like dogs.
It's extremely goofy looking.
All legs up.
I would like to chat with Diomedes if he's up for a bit. Just like asking him about the last time he came through Stormhill and what he knows about the situation here and how the bandits affected his trade.
I mean, sure.
And also, I'm angling after a dry place to sleep in his tent, or not to sleep, but to stay up reading and keep my book safe. So that's mostly what I'm after. But I will like listen to his answer.
It is absolutely a big enough tent for that to for you to just sit in the circle with him and Igneous. One of the mercenaries, I can't remember if I gave him a name or not, but one of the mercenaries is basically the leader of the band. He'll also be in the tent.
Okay. But should I roll a gather info or anything like that?
No, I'm not. Diomedes isn't particularly trying to hide anything, so just tell me what you're asking him.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if you hit anything that he gets evasive on.
So, when was the last time you came here through Stormhill, and what do you remember of the town? And have you heard about all this bandit nonsense?
Well, I have heard much of this this situation. It has been, as you know, bad for business. I come through the town maybe monthly. My father's ships ply the trade from the south, and I manage our businesses here in the north. So I am frequently between Karsh and Mudhollow and Ravenfall. The road to Ravenfall has always been dangerous. There have always been monsters and raiders in the frozen hills in the north. Alina, are we still on the map?
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Good.
Yeah.
If you want to zoom out slightly on the map.
Can do. We're actually, this is a weirdly zoomed in version, so it cuts off much above there. You
Oh,
may have
so
to
I've
move
got
it
it
down
set up
manually. Yeah.
incorrectly.
Yeah, it cuts off just above the icy wastes.
Eh. Oh, I see. No, that's fine. Did I? I think that might be all that's shown on this map. I couldn't remember. That's
you
fine
have a
then. If
map
it's already
somewhere.
got the icy wastes at the top,
Yeah.
that's all I need. It's fine. You can all see the hills as the Great Ring Road heads back out of Stormhill and turns north. The hills that it's going through are what they call the Frozen Hills.
I could move this over a bit more.
Sure. Where was I? So, yes, the road has always been dangerous. This new banditry is not particularly unusual. What is unusual about it is they're warring on one another. This is what makes people unwilling to travel, making the road and just making the business worse in general. We've always sent our caravans well. He kind of gestures at his men, well guarded. But when the roads are so dangerous, or there is particularly events that are so unpredictable on them, it reduces the number of travelers, and business simply hurts in general. As for my journeys, there are many of the nobles of the north crave the riches of the south, and we take very much advantage of such things. For example, and he gestures at the bales of stuff that are tied up on the wagon. There's some crates and a bunch of stuff kind of wrapped in oilcloth and tied down. Everything's tied down on the wagon. You imagine that's partly to make it harder for, like, if raiders came like running out of the night to attack the wagon, they would have to actually get on there and like cut things free in order to steal something. They couldn't just grab a sack and run. But he says, as he kind of gestures at this stuff, I'm just going back through my notes because I have too many notes for this adventure. These goods are destined for one of the noble houses in Ravenfall, the Lady Sofia Ligera Veracora de Santo Bianco. He stumbles a bit on that. Very, very deliberately and carefully saying this long ass name. These are goods that her agents purchased a month ago now in the great cities of the south, in Alfelicia, my home. So as these goods are brought to the north, I, on behalf of my father, Captain Pisa, I transport what needs transporting. So I am very, very used to these roads. We will likely spend a bit more than a day to rest here. If it had not been for the attacks, we would have set off first thing in the morning. It is still at least 2 more days to Ravenfall.
Well, I do wish you a pleasant and restful stay and good business. And I was wondering if you could recommend a butcher. Do you know any good local butchers?
Yes, there is a butcher in the market. There is very little raising of animals for food here. There are sheep, of course, in the hills. They are kept mostly for their fleece. but there is a great deal of hunting and fishing as well. And most of the fishmongers you will find here also practice a trade in butchering the kills of the hunters. I can recommend a particular fishmonger, and because it's so irrelevant, I'm not going to waste one of my names on it. So, like John Mackerel.
My new best friend in Stormhill.
Yep.
I'm ready to down.
Of the mackerel family.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's 3 brothers.
Of the mackerel fishmongers.
Yeah, my butcher, and me.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Maybe there's a hyphenated name there. It's John Mackerel Roy.
Hmm.
God.
The
It's
royal
canon now.
butchers. Mackerel raw.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Roy.
they were descended from kings, so it used to be Y. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On Mackerel.
They're
Perfect.
descended from kingfishers. It's an Aarakocra.
There are cockroaches. Yeah. Good.
Giant heads.
Anything else you want to ask him?
No, I don't know. I'm just gonna say that. Oh well. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to stay up reading a little bit before I toddle out to bed. And then I'm not going to leave. I'm just going to read, and I will be there when you.
He seems completely unfazed by that.
Nice.
And actually, I think you would vaguely remember from your travels in the south that having welcomed you into his tent, he's very much doing the "I am the host now, so I will."
Okay.
So please sleep where you wish.
Lovely.
So with the rest of you, Tromlin and Ugna come back around the gate. In Ugna's case, it's a bit of a squeeze. You might even just go over it.
Yeah.
And Glorpa, are you going to stay a horse for a while, or are you?
Oh
are you gonna sleep
God,
as a horse?
yeah, yeah. I've been rolling around in this mud, just kind of getting
Comfy.
cozy.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think I came back expecting that the tent would have been set up, but like none of you use a tent. So Ugna will look around and then like unpack the little tent from her backpack and set it up for
Aw.
her and Tromlin.
Yep.
Oh,
It's like one of those ones where there's just 2 poles and then some canvas, but it'll keep the rain off.
who's Big Spoon?
Like in the cartoons. Who's the big spoon? Do you have to ask?
I
My
mean,
fan fiction.
Maybe I'm the jetpack.
yeah.
Jetpack spooning.
Ugna just sleeps on her back with like her arms up.
Hmm.
So it's.
You could
I'm
sleep
trying
on
to
her
think
if
of what
you wanted.
cartoon is in. Yeah, there's like there's a cartoon in my head, and I can't remember which one, but like you're like sleeping on your back, all sprawled out, and then Tromlin's like on the belly,
Hmm.
just like this.
I'm sleeping on her feet like a puppy.
Yes.
Mhm.
All curled up. It's like the Looney Tunes one with like the really big bulldog and the tiny kitten.
Yeah,
Bitch.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. Tromlin is like kneading.
making biscuits.
Yep.
Okay.
Holly used to do that.
Oh.
Just stays in bed.
So the night passes. I did not hear. So Fed had conked out pretty quick, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
there's no alarm spell.
I'm asleep.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
So that
Sorry. I was exhausted.
Fine.
I would like a perception check from Funkle Perny,
Ooh,
who
who's
Yeah,
awake?
is not asleep, who's the only
I'm
one.
reading in a tent.
Yeah. Now there is
I can't-
also one of the Leonids is awake because the mercenaries are taking a rotating watch. So I will roll for him as well. Not super great. I rolled an 11 without bonus. How'd you do? Oh.
Dun dun.
Ah.
Natural
20.
20.
Those bifocals, man.
It's, like,
Yep.
it's natural, man.
All right, so with my big old bonus, my bob, we're at 22.
So those are natural bobs.
It's a natural bob, yeah.
Okay, so you feel you didn't hear something, you didn't see something, you felt something.
Hmm.
like a little chill, and it's something that you vaguely think you've felt before.
It's a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
The
disturbance.
blood
a disturbance
force.
in the force.
does it feel anything like when the shadow creatures passed near?
Yeah, actually, it feels a lot like
Hmm.
that feeling.
All right, I'm going to do what I always do when we need a responsible adult and go wake Tromlin.
Dad, Dad, I heard a noise.
So I'm going to keep the perception roll then, because as soon as you leave the pavilion tent, you do in fact have the ability to see something going on. And I'm just pulling up my, there it is, my specs. Okay. So yeah, you slip out of the tent quietly. Obviously, the Loxodon Die and Igneus, the fire genasi, are both sleeping, as well as the captain of the mercenaries. And so you quietly slip out of the tent, open the flap, and as you cross the little space where you're all set up to Tromlin and Ugna's tent, you notice along in a sliver of moonlight. I mentioned that we were just after the new moon and it was quite dark. So there's just a sliver of a crescent beginning. And in that light that is right now shining on the side of Tromlin Ugna's tent, you see a silhouette, like a shadow, pass over just the edge of the flap of the tent and then disappear out of your line of sight.
So if I remember properly, when Fetid did cast Alarm, the sound that it makes was "fuck," right? Is
Yeah.
that
Correct,
That
and
is
that has not
correct.
occurred.
okay? I'm gonna yell
There has
"fuck,"
been no fucking.
just like that. I'm gonna
You're gonna try and mimic
Man.
Fetid's
yeah,
alarm
and
spell.
I think I'm gonna try and cast one of my cantrips does like lets me do light, right? Like thaumaturgy might. Does that let me create light or little something to like highlight the area that it's in?
For sure.
Yeah,
I am
so I'll
down
do
with
that.
You can basically, so when you use thaumaturgy, of course, the whole point of thaumaturgy is that it's channeling divine magic. So when you cast thaumaturgy, there is like an eerie, otherworldly green light, like if light could be poisoned.
Perfect. Sounds very on brand.
And you shout out in an old man croak.
Fuck.
Okay. Ugna instantly is on her feet, which means that she has the tent on her head and is wielding
Oh, great.
Tromlin like a sword.
Oh, good.
Just buy my horns.
Yeah.
That's
Excellent.
a fuck of a way to wake up.
Mhm.
This may not be the first time you've woken up this way.
No,
This is why we've never dated.
Mhm.
correct.
I try to do what looks like a cool combat roll out of the pile of trash, but I'm still half asleep, so it's really like I just come tumbling out of this pile. Like,
Yeah, you got a
"Ah!"
banana peel over your face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like on top of my head like a nightcap.
where you're just looking out between the
Yeah,
strips
yeah.
of peel.
Mhm.
When
And
we
one right
do
down
our
your snout.
when we do our 90s sitcom style credit sequence for like the opening of the show, I would like everyone's like turn to the camera moment to be exactly what you have described.
Good.
There's like a series of thumps as the like a musical bump, 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 as three of the Leonids that were sleeping under the wagon jump up and hit their
Bang
heads
their heads.
Fucking
from
idiots.
a dead
Good.
sleep. Bam, bam, bam. The one who was on guard is like he clearly saw the old man come tiptoeing out of the tent, and then just suddenly
Something yelled fuck at him.
he yells "fuck," and so he lowers his spear in your general direction. Is like, what is it? What?
So I'm gonna say shadow monster and point toward my. Hopefully the light makes it easier to see, or at least draws some attention.
I would like everyone who's looking in this direction to roll perception with a reminder that no one has gotten rid of their exhaustion yet. So that's with disadvantage for those who are exhausted.
I am not exhausted,
What does
but I rolled a
disadvantage mean
9.
again?
It means you roll twice and take the worst of the two.
Oh, I don't have to roll. Well, I might. Oh, good. Yep.
I got 9, so the tent is on my head over my eyes. I'm just like,
4, so 9 total.
11. The banana peel is obscuring my eyes.
Glorify is
Well-
covered in mud, but not her face. So she's actually moved her face into the mud to have more mud on her face.
Mhm.
So it's just eyeballs.
you're just a mud
It's
puddle.
like a face mask.
And then you
Yeah.
just open your eyes.
Mud the
It's
shape
really
of
good
a
for the
horse,
skin.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about Tromlin?
12. I'm just being shaken so violently I can't get my focus.
You are being
God.
ripped by the horns. That
Okay,
does make it
everyone
hard.
is, because Copernicus rolled a natural 20. Clearly, you have sucked the perception out of everyone else. I have so far
I have
not
a spell
rolled
for
above a
that.
7 for any of the soldiers,
cast- they
and
just
I
don't
have
got
in
banged
This
on the
fight
head.
is off to a
Why,
great
why
start.
do I
We're
feel like
good.
a crazy old man?
I have also rolled a 1 for
coming.
one of them.
He's just
God,
starved.
okay.
Dropped
All
his
right,
own
so
sword on
no
foot.
one but Copernicus has noticed this monster
Great.
at
That
this
feels
point.
appropriate.
This is gonna be like the old man who cried shadow monster, that classic children's tale,
Yep.
where he summons so many shadow monsters
Terrible.
of his own that when an actual shadow monster
Mhm.
shows up, no sympathy.
Everyone just assumes you cast a spell and are trying to
Mhm.
cover it for it.
Mhm.
There is, by the way, a sickly green light emanating from Copernicus.
Hmm.
Wait, I thought like sickly green light was what the light that I was casting on the shadow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's coming from it's like flashlight or beam or whatever is coming from
Okay, all right.
you.
Eldritch Flashlight, a classic spell.
I will
Yeah.
set Tromlin down and actually grab my sword.
Thank you.
And
So
like push the
Igneus,
tent out of my face.
I'm gonna witch bolt it. I'm gonna
Okay.
witch bolt it.
Ooh.
That'll make it more obvious.
So
Let's do some.
give me a
force
second.
here.
We'll start that. We'll start that with an initiative round. Igneus comes to the mouth of the tent. You can kind of see disheveled-looking Diomedes behind him. His robe is only hastily thrown on, and his ears are all. I don't know what elephant bedhead looks like, but whatever. He's got one ear
Weird,
sticking
like
up.
awkward creases.
One
you know.
It's like a
inside
dog
out.
when the
Yeah.
when the ear folds.
Mhm.
And Igneus is sort of pulled open the flaps of the tent and is blazing with light as he looks out. So
that makes sense.
and now everyone can kind of see fairly well. But no one has seen whatever this thing that Copernicus is talking about is. And then suddenly, Copernicus, with his gestured hand where he's pointing, Shadow Monster, is going to basically become like the Emperor in Star Wars and shoot frickin' force lightning at something. So
At the
go ahead
darkness.
and make your attack roll.
You cast lightning
Alright.
bolt at the darkness.
Actually,
Yeah,
attacking the darkness. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it. I'm doing it.
Good.
It's going to
But
turn
this
out
is-
to be
this
a
is not a lightning
gazebo,
bolt.
and then we're all doomed.
This is not a lightning bolt. This is a witch bolt. So this is again eldritch green energy, but force lightning.
25.
That will hit. So now everybody can see a shadowy humanoid silhouette that is like a shadow cast by no one along the gate at this point, because it has started to run away when the fuck was shouted. But it's again, it's absolutely like the Emperor Invader. Copernicus is standing there, continuously streaming eldritch energy lightning from his hands into this shadow thing. I believe that does 4d10 damage.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Or is it
Um,
4d12? I think it's 4d12.
So it's going to do 1d12, and then when you cast a spell using a spell slot second level or higher, the initial damage increases by 1d12 for each slot level above the first. So that's going to be
And-
4d12.
Yeah, your slot is 4 because of your
Yeah.
warlock level. So yeah, you do 4d12 damage with this.
Woof.
Not great rolls. 19.
It evaporates. It
Nice.
basically disappears.
No, the proof that it was real.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Like it was a shadow, so there's no body. There's just nothing. You see a little something glinting in the mud where it disappeared, though. Lit up and glinting by the continuing like horrendous evil lightning that's still playing on the ground. As you know, you can continue to do that for concentration. So
Yeah, I think I'm
keep
going
on
to
cooking that spot if you want to.
I think I'm going to stop and then hit my, because I'm assuming it's coming out of my wand that I'm casting with. So I'm gonna like knock the wand, like, oh, my flashlight isn't working. Strange malfunction. But I'm gonna keep the ethereal thaumaturgy light on, and then shine it on the object and say, what's that it left behind? And draw some suspicion off of myself and onto something else.
Yeah, that strange shadow. None of you saw it until Copernicus cast the
Exploded
exploded it. So for all you know, it was like a creation of the magic, but whatever it is, it's gone like an illusion. And Copernicus is now shining this sickly green light on the spot in the mud where the shadow was.
It's a weird
I'm
thing
going
to
to
wake up to.
I'm going to approach it, the spot, and take a closer look, but I'm not going to be the first.
Okay.
I'll,
So Ugna, you still have a tent over your head.
yeah, I took it off. I'm gonna maybe go over there as well and like poke it with a sword.
I'd also like to keep an eye out just for what is in the immediate vicinity of like where it was sneaking around. Like, is there like a particular crate or object that it may have been in?
It was going past the tent. It was basically, it was either moving towards the wagon or it was moving for the tent. It was going towards Tromlin and on Ugna.
Okay.
One of the two.
Interesting.
So Ugna strides over to this spot, and I assume you're still holding Tromlin in one hand.
No, I set him down and grabbed my sword.
Okay. There is what looks like a shiny black knife of some sort lying in the mud.
I'll go, oh, you dropped this, and I'll lean down to pick it up for Perny.
I'd say, oh no, that's not mine. I saw a shadowy creature, much like the ones we saw earlier, and decided to sound the alarm.
Oh.
Good alarm. It sounded just like mine.
Thank you. I learned from the best. But I will, without touching it, take a closer look at the knife that Uga's holding, just to see if there's like, are there any inscriptions or runes or anything like
It
that?
appears to be made of some kind of like of a like a single piece, hilt and blade together, of some kind of black material. It doesn't look like normal metal. It almost looks like it could be made of stone, except that it's like worked like perfectly smooth. And as you examine it, it actually kind of starts to melt.
Can I Arcana it? And I'm assuming that I'm not going to have 10 minutes to identify it with a ritual, but I will Arcana it.
But you can absolutely roll Arcana, yes.
If anyone else wants to get in on the investigating before this thing evaporates.
I'll
So
help.
that
I'm picturing
25.
that it's. Yeah, I'm picturing that Glorpa has come over to examine as well, but is a horse still.
Yeah, I'm not using my hooves on
I
that.
weirdly got an 18 on that, even though I have a -1.
I
I
would
don't
not
know enough,
allow you
yeah.
to do an assist on this
I
because
don't
your
know well enough.
Arcana is like,
-1.
untrained, whatever you want to
It
call it.
looks like a knife.
I'm like, it's a knife. You
Yeah.
point it this way and it cuts.
She holds it
Oh,
the
I
wrong
forgot to
way.
mention, just a quick thing that I forgot to mention from my notes. When you guys got to town and you gave Otto an escort into the town, Heracles and Geracles, the the Raven folk who were traveling with you would also have gone into town because they live here also.
Fair enough. Well, we would walk them home.
Yeah.
Yep. I just totally forgot to mention that.
Can I examine see how much it's worth?
Yeah, you can make an appraisal roll.
What is that based off of?
I would say you have some relevant backgrounds and stuff here. So I'm just going to call it a straight up intelligence and proficiency. So you've got a +4.
Ooh. That is 23.
You think it's probably worth quite a bit. You've generally heard of a substance that's known in the far south. There's like a black steel that is particularly prized for making magical weapons, and you think that at the very least some of that material might be in here. However, there's this whole magical thing where it's dissipating, which kind of makes that problematic. Objects that melt and disappear are worth less. Not necessarily worthless, but worth less. So Copernicus, you determine with your roll where
B.O.B.
has my thing gone. There we go. That's very annoying. Yeah, you rolled well enough on that. I'm going to say you realize that this is a magical dagger. Like some kind of assassin magic is likely on it. You would need to have the time to actually do identify spell on it to know exactly what it does. But you realize that the reason that it's dissipating is probably from the light. That there's shadow magic here, and Ignaeus's bright glowing light that he's lit up the area with is probably the reason that it's melting.
Cloak over it.
Yeah,
You going to summon some water and throw it at him? Oh.
I throw my cloak on top of it, just like.
And I'll say, I think it has been enchanted with some kind of magic that makes it dissipate in the light, but I'm not certain because I'm just a regular old man and wouldn't know such things.
Ignaeus will look suspiciously at you, but drop the glow so that the only light is coming from your eerie thaumaturgical.
Oh, right, and I have, like any player who has dark vision, I have to mention it once a session. It's just a rule. And I have dark vision, so I can see this in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm curious now. I'd forget this. Who doesn't have dark vision?
Oh.
I've got
everyone. I think maybe.
I mean, no big deal, but I've got it.
I don't think I have it.
I don't think I have
think
it.
Tromlin.
Okay.
Orcs, I think, get dark vision. Where's my character
It's not on my
I don't think
sheet.
that I do.
Oh no, I do. Yep, there it is. Dark vision at the top.
I give dark
I
vision to
too have
water
dark vision.
genasi because the idea that water genasi can't see underwater is really stupid.
I like that. Okay.
So yeah, you have dark vision.
Like I live under the ocean, but I can't see.
Yeah, so the only person who
great.
doesn't have dark vision is Tromlin of the party members.
So only our responsible adult can't see.
Great.
So Diomedes will come over and like adjusting his robe and say, "What is it? Some sort of attack? Are there more of them?"
I believe it was the weapon of a intended assassin or thief, and it seems to be headed in the direction of, and I'll point toward the collapsed Ugna tent. But certainly there seems to be some fell magic at work here from certainly outside forces, not inside ones. Very outside. Do you know anyone who would wish you harm? And who might have access to such magic?
I do not know of anyone in particular, but clearly, whoever sent the shadow raven things earlier may be sending more such attacks.
I'm gonna go ahead and just like break the respectful barrier of like not asking about people's private stuff, but I'm gonna say like they seemed very intent on a particular wagon of yours. Are you carrying precious cargo?
Yes, of course.
What kind?
It is not my place to say. You'll recall you were the one he was telling before about the stuff that they were taking to the nobles in Ravenfall.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something, though, an assassin would be coming to reclaim or to claim.
Possibly. I had thought that the creatures before were trying to attack your friend.
Have you pissed off any ravens recently?
Oh, Tromlin. If there's assassins, do you think that Otto has guards at his house? I didn't see any when I was there.
No, he doesn't. Let's go.
Let's
right now.
go. Like immediately grabbing up my hammer and taking off.
You like vault over the gate. Anybody else going?
I'll come along too, but has anyone actually picked up the dagger at this point? Or no, Ugna's still holding it, but it's covered with like a cloak. Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up and touched it with my bare hands, if that does anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody threw a cloak over it and I've left it.
Can I
So it's lying on the ground under the cloak back in the camp.
Okay, then I'm gonna pick it up and take it with us. And if I can ride Ugna so that I am free to cast a ritual, I want to identify it on the way. If I have enough time, I don't know.
I would say that Ugna like dashing off probably makes that
I just left.
very difficult.
Glorf is gonna turn into Glorpa for a moment to get through the gate, and then turn back into Glors. If you'd like a ride.
Yep.
I'm gonna. Can I ride you? I'm still very tired.
Hop on, buddy.
Amazing.
It's gonna smell more different.
You jump on bareback, grab the mane.
It's wet.
I'm getting touched by every one of you this time. This is great. Dogs are one.
So with quickly, Glorpa will overtake Ugna being a horse. So we've got Ugna and Glors leading with Fetid on Glors's back, and then Tromlin and Copernicus bringing up the rear. The Diomedes will actually no. I was going to say Diomedes might send some guards to go with you out of courtesy, but having seen you all in action yesterday, Diomedes is like, no, I need the protection here more. You guys can handle yourselves.
Okay.
So you rush back across. You've been to the house, so you know where it is. So you rush back across the square and head to the house. It's all dark and quiet. What you gonna do? You stop and knock, break the door
looks
down.
like she's she's lowering her shoulder and it's just gonna go through that door if no one stops her.
Someone who's not me, maybe make a perception roll.
Ugna, if you do that and there's someone in there, we'll lose the element of surprise.
Oh, okay. Well, skid to a halt.
I will check to see if it looks like anyone's broken into the house in the front or the back.
So in the short term, you can quickly check the front of the house. It looks fine. There's no sign of there's no broken window. This is a nicer home with actual leaded glass instead of just vellum or something like that nailed up over the windows. Yeah, you don't see anything. You could go around the back. Well, that will take at least a little bit of time if you want to scout around.
Is there a chimney?
There is.
How big is it?
Like normal sized. This is just a home. It's
could
not like
could any of us fit in the chimney?
I
My
probably
monkey
could.
can.
Yeah, the
Oh
monkey's
my
big.
god, I forgot about the monkey.
Mhm.
I
I'm
will
gonna,
set
I'm gonna, yeah, I'll point at it and say, can anyone get up there and possibly sneak
On
inside
it.
quietly to see if perfect.
on it. I step to the side of the building, summon my monkey, and send him up.
Achoo. Okay. He. I don't need a climb roll from a monkey. He's zip right up there,
Not-
up to the roof. There's a tin like hat, the little protector over top of the chimney to keep rain from falling down it, but it's a big enough gap. that
Designed
there's
for
no problem.
rain, not monkeys.
That's right.
Nobody designed for
Monkeys
monkeys.
don't fall from the sky. They can climb in from the side. They're sneaky like that.
For trust.
Everyone knows monkeys are sneakier than rain. That is a
Classic.
well-known
Classic.
truism.
Mhm.
All
Like
right.
Abraham Lincoln first said that.
Are the rest of you just waiting around down here, or what do you want to do?
I'm gonna go search the backyard.
Normally,
Yeah,
I would
back.
be right up there, but with my exhaustion, I think, and how I've been rolling, I think I'm just gonna stay down here.
Gonna just hang out down on the. I'm just gonna be a bed for this young kobold.
Mm-hmm.
Ugna, you dash around to the back. Again, you don't see any signs of forced entry or anything. There's a small yard back there with the stables. The stables are quiet. The horses are asleep.
Can I check for like footprints or anything?
Outside, yeah, you can make a survival check. Remember to apply your disadvantage from being
Yep, I'm rolling 2 dice.
Exhausted.
That would be 15 then.
You see the most recent signs here are your own footprints and autos coming to the door. And otherwise, you really don't see anything disturbed. By that point, by the time you're done with that, you've definitely had time for your monkey to get inside, so you can then kind of zone out and look through your familiar's
Alright.
eyes. So your monkey comes out of it's a little bit warm because the fires were lit earlier, but it's cold enough now. It's been the fire's been dead for hours, so it's pretty no big deal for your monkey to slip through past the flue and into the kitchen. There's basically an open kind of hall where there's like a table to eat at and kitchens off to one side. It's a modest merchant's home. It's not the wealthiest. It's not like the merchants' homes in Karsh or even Mud Hollow, but it's definitely the home of someone who's doing pretty well.
Okay.
Off to the side of the kitchen, there's like an open. It's all kind of open concept, but there's like a counting room, basically, where merchant business would be done, and there's a door from there that goes outside, as well as the main door that you came to, and that door leads into the sort of the market stall part of the front of the building, and then there's a big staircase going up.
Up the
And
stairs.
yeah, you see no sign of anything untoward down here. The monkey scampers up the staircase. There's a landing that basically goes the length of the building, and there are 3 rooms. Sorry, there'd be 4 rooms along that basically take up the whole length of the place. Which door do you want to check? The one door at the far end is a smaller, plainer door. The other 3 are larger and more nice looking.
I'm guessing the smaller planar door is probably going to be where the servant is at. So might as well check the very first one.
So the first door you come to, the one that's like right across from the stairs, is it's not locked or anything. So the monkey just jumps up, grabs it, opens the door, and it's like a study, kind of a nice sitting area. It's right above the kitchen, and there's a second fireplace there that's closed off. That's got like a metal closed door on it. But there's nobody in here. It's doesn't look disturbed.
All right, close the door. Next one.
Second door down, you open. It leads into like some kind of a master bedroom. there is you quickly spot. I won't make a. I don't need a roll for perception. You'll taking a moment, you'll see a cloak that was the one Otto was wearing that's still kind of damp and travel stained, just thrown across a chair. But there's no sign of anyone here.
The bed hasn't been slept in.
It does look like disturbed, like it's not been made. Like maybe someone slept in it last night and the servants just decided not to make the bed. But it also could be that someone was recently sleeping in it. But there
I'll
is
have
no one here.
Monkey hop on the bed and see if there's any blood.
Hey, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Oh.
Hey.
Well done. Well done. I would like you to give Fetid an inspiration back for that.
Nice.
Good.
I am happy to return an inspiration for that. Well, there is more monkeys jumping on the bed, at least one more monkey. And I would like an investigation roll from you. Your monkey is not exhausted.
Oh.
And so I'm going to allow you to do this without disadvantage.
Oh, that would become an 18.
Ooh.
Excellent. At first, there's a quick check. The first thing that your monkey notices with a fair amount of rummaging around is that the center of the bed is a bit warm. There's no sign of like a hot water bottle or anything like that, or a heated bolster. There's someone was definitely lying here recently, recently enough that the bedclothes are still warm.
But warm, not like warm and wet.
Yeah, there's no dampness.
He did not pee himself.
Yeah.
Or blood.
Yeah.
He didn't have time to pee himself.
You peed somebody else.
Oh no.
There is, however, when your monkey explores further and picks up the pillows, the bolster, the bedclothes at the head of the bed, there is a blood stain underneath that has been deliberately hidden. There's a blood stain around the area of where one's head might be lying on a bed.
Oh, great.
And it has been covered up with pillows and stuff.
Maybe he lost it too.
Is it like recent, like as in it's fresh?
Oh, it's warm.
How much blood is it?
I tell the group there's a blood stain on his pillow.
Oh, great.
We need to get in there now.
Oh, get in there. Okay.
Ugna, do your
I'm
thing.
assuming Ugna is going to get in there now.
I'm gonna break down that door.
Go,
Yeah, don't even roll.
Yeah.
Don't even roll. Ugna like just raises a boot and puts it down, and the door isn't there now. Like cartoon style, the door just goes like it's not even like banged open like in real life. It's like down flat on the floor.
And I'm riding it down, and I'm just like following it in. I'm just up the stairs.
Don't even slow down.
I don't even know which way I'm going. I'm just in the house now.
I mean, it's like I said, that open concept downstairs. It's just there's a staircase right across from you.
Straight up the stairs.
Just boop, straight up the stairs. There's one open door.
I assume we're all following.
I think it might be a little difficult for Glorpa unless Glorpa changes back to a non-horse.
Right.
God, I really want to be a horse. I guess I could do this anytime. I can Glorpa back.
What is your jump like, and is there a window on the second story?
There are windows, but they are not horse-sized windows.
Yeah. I mean, any window is horse-sized if the horse tries hard enough.
You could jump, turn into Glorpa to smash through the window, and then back into a horse as you land. Think about it. Make a hell of an animal.
Yeah. Can I go ahead and do that? Do I have to roll to figure that out, or no? Just
roll for horse.
Roll to horse.
You have some exhaustion, so I would say that's like an athletics roll.
I mean, hold on. Why is it that I can fit through a window, but not the giant door that Ugna just knocked over?
No, you don't have to. If you just want to run in as Glorpa and turn back to a horse afterwards, you could do that too.
I'll do that.
Less cinematic, but less.
Sorry. I don't like glass in my ass.
She's a tired horse. Okay, so as Ugna runs up the stairs and everyone's charging after, the servant comes out of the farthest down, nice-looking door, just looking like terrified because, of course, there was just this giant crash. And he's wearing his like bed clothes, and he doesn't even have a candle because he just came rushing to the door when like there's a loud smash downstairs.
I dissipate my monkey and I call to the. We basically call out, Otto, are you here? Are you safe?
I unhelpfully
What's happening?
motion him aside and go, assassins!
I look at the servant. There was an attempt on our lives tonight. We think your master might be in trouble. Show us to his bedroom now.
You're closer to it than he is at this point because you're at the top of the line. He points to the door that obviously you know that
Yeah,
your
right.
monkey went through earlier.
Just get around the door and go in.
You smash
I
your
go
way in.
I light my lamp. Go look at the bed. Go to the pillow. I make sure the servant's here to see this.
Mm.
Lift the pillow and see the blood.
Oh, he actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a roll. 1. He faints.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Good.
Perfect.
Good.
You smash your way in. He's like,
Cool.
"Ooh, ooh." He looks around. He's like, "Master!" And then you lift up the pillow and like all the blood soaking the mattress at that end, and he just like,
Someone take care of him. We need so Ugna, you're here. Who else here with me? It's me,
I'm
Fetid,
in here. Yep.
and Danielle.
I'm wherever the largest.
I
horse
think
face
you're
are.
all all
I
there.
think we're all here.
You're
Oh,
all
I
there
can fit
now.
there. Okay.
You all came running
Alright.
up. Florpa
I'm
dropped
gonna-
the horse form to
me-
come running in. So
Ugna, can you take care of the servant until we need you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Everyone,
just
search the other
pick
rooms.
I've got some smelling
here,
salts
go
probably.
in.
I'm like putting something funky smelling under his nose.
Someone needs to get hold of the
So
town
me.
watch.
Fetid.
you wave Fetid under his nose.
Yeah.
You bring the salt, I'll bring the smell.
Mhm.
So, someone needs to get hold of town watch, and the rest of us need to search the premises.
All right. I mean, I'll run and get the town watch. They'll listen.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah,
The
Copernicus
most
is sort of
respectable
bringing
one.
up the rear. So
Mhm.
Okay. I will take the regular kind of plain door at the very end. If someone else wants to take the
well,
other.
first of all, in the bedroom,
Yeah.
there is a door adjoining on either side. One that leads clearly to the servants' quarters,
Mhm.
and that door has like a bolt, and the
Mhm.
other that leads into the study that you were just in,
Yeah.
that you saw in before. In addition to that, there is a large wardrobe, which is like big enough to be another doorway, but is clearly a wardrobe.
Or is it?
Yeah, I don't trust
Now it's
that
a
wardrobe
death
at all.
robe.
We should probably not search too much, just because we find the body and the guards show up. We're like, hey, what's up?
Definitely wasn't us. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tuck the
Sounds like it's-
servant into his bed though, because I'm assuming the plain door leads to a servant's
Yep.
quarters.
No, the
Aw.
servant came out of the door that led to
Oh, okay,
his.
cool. Then they're
the
probably
plain
still
door
I
is
will
at the
actually
far end.
attempt. Then I'm going to attempt to wake the servant. If that's
Yeah.
the case, because we probably
Okay.
shouldn't be exploring until the guards are here.
Mm.
Yeah, he comes around with like you like jam Fetid's armpit into his face, and he like
What I'm good for.
All right.
He takes poison damage.
Back.
So I apologize for doing that, but you need to wake up. Obviously, something happens to your master.
What?
We don't want to search the premises without your permission. Also, the guards here, we want to make
Yes.
get here.
Yes,
We
search,
don't want-
please.
All right. Just so we have your permission, so if the guards get here, we're not being accused of anything. Fine.
Yeah, this is above this guy's pay grade. He's
Oh.
quite
I just want
terrified.
a witness that's not part of our group. That's all I
Mhm.
care.
Mhm.
Walk up the armoire, open it.
You open up the wardrobe, and Otto's body slumps out of it. And
Yeah.
Ah.
lands on the floor.
Is he? I'll check him. Is he dead? Dead?
Yes. So you check him. You have. I'm not going to make you roll medicine because there's some pretty obvious things here. His throat has been cut, but it looks like it's all white, like it's been frostbitten. The flesh around the cut.
Mm. That's weird.
Yeah, and you
That's
kind of
fine.
think there wasn't enough for someone to have their. We're not going to get into why Tromlin knows these things, but Tromlin is fairly certain that if you actually had your throat cut in bed, there'd be a lot more blood than you saw.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you think it may have something to do with like that crazy frostbite around the cut.
Gotcha.
And in fact, if you touch it, there's like some solid lack of give to the flesh, like it's
I
like it's
will touch
frozen
it
and
with
it's
his-
cold.
I will touch it with his own finger, not mine, because I don't want his blood
Sure.
on me.
Sure.
But like, okay, that's hard.
And he's cold to the touch. Like his body is cold, like he's been dead for a while, even though the bedclothes were still warm.
I will
You
probably have to have
suspect
Grant-
magic.
Yeah. I don't know that I can do like I don't have spellcraft. I don't. Or Arcana.
It's just Arcana. You can make an Arcana roll.
I mean, I'm not as good as my grandfather is, so.
Remember, you're
You
still
never
doing
will be.
disadvantage.
Kidding.
Oh yeah, sorry. 13.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely know that there are spells that cause cold damage that you would expect to kind of like suck the life out of somebody. And if someone was killed purely by cold damage, you would expect their body to be cold pretty fast. So maybe something like that. So while this investigation is going on, Copernicus, you tottered off across the square towards the keep, I assume. And there are in fact guards there. They're already kind of buzzing because there was a guard kind of watching the gate. And before, when you guys came in with Otto, he didn't care because he knew Otto. But when Ugna like vaulted the gate and went charging off, and the horse followed and all that crazy stuff.
Also, the giant fuck that
Yeah,
split the night.
they kind of went. I imagine from the giant fuck, the guard just went, "What the hell was that?" and looked over the gate and went, "That's those people."
College kids.
Yeah.
But
Rowdy.
this was a bit more. So the guards are already kind of like gathering their stuff and coming out of the keep.
Yeah.
So as you're going across, a group of them will rush up to you and say, "What's going on, old man?"
There's been a killing or a kidnapping at the house of Otto the Merchant. I'm in his employ, and me and my companions were attacked camping at the gates of the city, and we believe the same entities may have attacked him. Hurry, it's this way. Oh, trouble.
This sounds believable. Actually, make me a charisma check.
Ooh.
You're pretty good at this.
Can I use persuasion?
Yep.
Because I've got some.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
23.
Okay, well, they
Grandpa still got it.
we take
Trustworthy
orders
old
from this
man.
guy now.
Grandpa's where I got it from.
They just fall in line behind you and are like, "Right, go."
Grandpa's bringing a platoon.
There's a group, maybe half a dozen of them. So yeah, they'll come charging across the square towards the house. You can actually you notice a couple of lights coming on here and there in the town with all this commotion. Okay, so the guards show up, and anything you guys want to do in the few moments you have before the guard get there?
Are there any plants in Otto's room?
If anyone wants to harvest any bladders for bags, now's the time.
I'll do a check around just to make sure this thing isn't still here. Like I'll kind of like open some doors, look around, close the door.
People often, or so you're checking. So first of all, so Glorpa is checking the room for plants, and people do keep like house plants. I gave you a luck roll. I rolled a d20 to see what are the chances that there just happened to be a house plant in Otto's room, and I rolled a nat 20. So
That's
there
a big fucking plant.
absolutely, definitely is.
It's his prized fern. He calls her Lucinda.
Yep.
Grandpa Fernie.
Absolutely a house plant.
As we're approaching, I'm going to just make a little scribble in my book, and Ugna is going to be the person that I scribbled
Good.
And I'm just gonna send a little message to.
Wait,
Ah.
Ugna. I mean, Danielle, does your character have speak with plants?
Yes, she does.
I'm pretty
I think
sure
that's
that
why
was
she
why
asked.
the question was
She
asked.
only speaks with plants in a sexy voice, though, or at least sexually.
Oh, perfect.
Of course.
The only way she knows how. So she
Ooh,
sidles
that's
up to
Damon.
Lucy.
Sidles
Says,
up
"Hey,
to the big
girl.
old big
Do I have to
potted
do anything in
fern.
order to? Do I just talk?"
You just cast a spell and then you can talk to plants.
Oh, this is gonna seem so normal to all of you that know me. Come on up. You're like, "Girl, what's up? You looking fine? Do you know if anything else has been looking fine in this room, or not fine? Anything hasn't been looking fine?
Um,
Do you
so
follow what I'm?"
I need to set up. I'm going to set up multiple things that are happening at once here. So in the room is in the bedroom with the big fern is Tromlin and Fetid and Glorpa and the servant who you've rousted and woke up and then brought over here. The servant is kind of hanging out in the hallway because he really doesn't want to come in and see what's going on in here. Meanwhile, Ugna has gone down to the plain door at the end of the hallway to check it. As Ugna is doing so, you hear this otherworldly hissing voice in your mind
Cool. Cool.
that says, "Grandpa's on his way, and he's got company. This is the houseplant speaking. I know the horse and the monkey."
I'm gonna shake my head, kind of pat my ears to make sure that doesn't happen again, and then call up the hall. The plants say that Grandpa's on his way. Somehow.
And then, as you're doing this, you had just pulled open this door, and what you find is a room with like a safe in it, basically.
Oh.
Like a strong box, probably a better way to put it, and several chests, and they are all open, and there is stuff all over the floor. A lot of it is coins. There's gold. There's clearly valuable stuff. There's also a lot of papers, and they're just strewn everywhere. So that happened, and at the same time, those of you who are in the bedroom with Glorpa will see Glorpa sidle seductively up to this fern, which is going to turn towards Glorpa and
Oh
lean in
no.
and put its fronds around her waist and sort of go, "Hey." So the fern is going to respond, "Nothing looking as fine as you, honey."
Oh god.
Jeff, is any of this in your fanfic?
I'm frantically updating my wiki right now.
Perfect.
Listening
So
to
you had
Slash
asked
Glorpa.
Glorpa slash fern.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the fern is going
There's
to
a Fern Gully pun here. I don't know what it is. But
Oh, no.
oh no. The fern starts like developing spore cases. It shows that it's
don't we
terminal.
all?
I hate that.
Its ASCII are throbbing. um,
So is my ass.
and the and the fern is going to respond, first and foremost to the flirting, but also there was some kind of thing in here that dragged the meat sack across the room over there.
The
But-
meat sack.
But that was not a fine plant lady like yourself.
Oh dear.
It
Can you tell
obviously
me what
thinks that you're a
color?
plant.
They can't hear. Nobody else can hear it.
They
talking
can't
to
hear.
me.
They can't understand either you or the fern in
I'm
this conversation. All they can
just
see is the fern becoming animated and like getting fronzy was weird. Handsy, but with fronds.
Prawns with benefits.
The plant say some kind of fey? F-E-Y?
Oh.
Sorry, what was that?
Did the fern say some kind of fey, like F-E-Y was in here?
It probably. I just said like some kind of thing, but
Okay.
yeah, you're speaking, plant speech to it. Whatever word it used, it would absolutely agree with that assessment. That
Okay.
it was some sort of fey spirit
Okay.
was in here. Some
I
sort
don't
of
suppose.
fey magic. You can get a bit of a description.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It,
I know you don't have eyes for anyone but
Yeah.
me, but do you know what color, by chance, this
it was
fey was?
it was a dark thing. It was
Dark
a
thing.
thing made of dark, is how it would describe it.
Show you my dark thing. All right, cool. I'll tell everybody that. I'll relate the most important portions of
And
this.
I'll just to give you the full description, after translating from a plant's perspective, it saw a shadow thing, a thing made of dark, appear through the window, basically.
Oh.
And it had some kind of it would say some kind of a thorn. It had a black thorn, and it cut the meat creature that usually sleeps over there.
Obviously, Lucinda does not have the same feeling for Otto that she has
Otto,
for Glorfa.
Otto isn't even the one who waters the plants. Like he
Oh,
doesn't care.
yeah,
He's just
true.
the lump of warm meat that sleeps in the room occasionally. Like the plant couldn't care less. It
Can I ask one?
produces carbon dioxide for it.
Yeah,
That's
right. I
fine.
guess it's a thing. Can I ask one last question? Do you know where it went afterwards?
It dragged the meat creature into the wardrobe and went inside, and it did not reappear.
Oh, good to know. Thank you. I will be back to water you later.
Oh, I know.
About that time, I'm gonna yell down the hallway and be like, looks like something cracked the safe.
Are you is Ugna in the wardrobe or no? Wait, this
I'm
is a
down the
different
hall.
In the next room down
Yeah.
the hall.
Okay.
Or two doors down. The room on the other side of the study that had its own little plain door.
Okay.
Also, by the way, to carry on Ugna, since you've checked that room, you now realize the only reason you could open the door is that it had already been forced and broken.
Right. I will close it for the moment, unless there's like obviously like a big display case with a gem place.
Honestly, there's
missing.
a lot of like money in here.
Yeah.
Like if someone was here to steal, they did a really shitty job.
That's why I was like, there's got to be something missing, and it definitely wasn't the cash. But I'll close the door for the moment because I don't know what's missing in there.
Have we really like looked behind Otto's body and the wardrobe? Did it go any further?
The wardrobe doors are open because
Okay.
Otto's body kind of slumped out, and
Yeah.
Tromlin didn't want to do more than a careful examination and didn't want to move it or anything, so it's still there.
All right. Glorfa's gonna be clumsy and just walk over and step over Otto's body and peek through whatever clothing is in there.
You like step on it, like
Just peeping.
just look around.
Yeah.
You no, nothing. There's no sign of anything in here.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys. Hold on.
Check my zone.
That might have been Elma is too quiet.
Suspiciously quiet child. Yeah, Ugna will come back up the hallway and be like, it looks like the Otto had like some kind of room in there full of money. The money's everywhere. Somebody's rifled through it, but I don't know if anything's missing.
As you're conveying this to the group, there's like a lot of commotion downstairs, and a group of guardsmen are coming up the stairs with Copernicus.
And I'll go, oh great, hey, over here. We found a body.
I'm going to while the guardsmen are at their most distracted, like because they're taking in the scene and everything, is probably when I'm going to try and step away into the shadows for a second, and I should probably stash the matching murder weapon that I have, and I've been running around with under a cloak. So I think I'm going to hide that in. I think I'm actually going to open my bucket and hide it in the bucket.
Sure.
Seems like a good place.
Cool. Put the murder weapon
And I'll
in a bucket.
yeah. And then I'll just get caught up on what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. So the captain of the guard here, or the whoever the lieutenant or leader of this group of
I'm the leader of this group. He's my second in command.
they are taking
Or she.
orders from you, absolutely. But the one in charge nominally is basically comes up and is like, "Roy, what's all this then?"
Regular fucking Sam Vimes over here.
Me and my friends got attacked. We're camping outside town, and we knew that our friend, they were trying to attack him too. So he's in there, and he got stabbed or something.
I will point out that you are allowing Ugna to speak for the group.
I will raise my hand and say, "Excuse me, sir. Yes, hi. We were recently traveling with this merchant. We were here on business, and we escorted him home tonight. Then we returned with our friends who were camping outside the town. We were, in fact, attacked. Enjoy the child in the background.
Audience.
Yes. Oh, my child. That's why I had to run out a second ago. Sorry, not recast myself. After we were attacked by an unknown assassin, we became worried about our friend. We bolted through the door. We yelled for the servant. Came up, looked at the room, immediately saw blood pool. So, and then we sent for help, and then initial investigation out of curiosity and point to Otto's. Persuasion?
Sure. I will give you advantage, which will offset your disadvantage from exhaustion, because of the groundwork laid by Copernicus here when he grabbed the guards.
I'm glad to hear it. 28.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, you really don't want to re-roll that one. Is that a nat 20, or you have a +9?
10.
Nice.
That's why he does the talking.
Yeah, this all it makes perfect sense, right? You're like, oh, so I'm assuming you're telling them about the attack on the camp outside. There was some sort of shadow creature, and you think it was the same sort of creature here.
I say if you look at the wound here, you can see the body's cold, even though it wasn't that long ago, and I point to the wound.
Magic.
And,
yeah, Captain's like, yep, magic.
I do want to interrupt the scene as it happens, but I do want to, like, Perny's going to start looking really, really sad that Otto just died, and he's definitely pretending, but he would like to look like it's a close personal friend he's just discovered is truly dead. Very important for his performance. I just want to note that the performance starts now.
Okay.
Ugna 100%
so as
buys
you're
it, like,
doing that,
pats your shoulder.
as you start your performance, you're like, he was too young.
My friend.
As you're doing that, various objects in the house near to Copernicus are going to start just slightly floating. And kind of like flinging themselves very weakly in his direction. Like you imagine like a really, really tired ghost like going, and there's like, there's a paperweight on the desk that just kind of like falls off the edge of the desk and rolls towards his foot, and like some papers kind of fly at him and ruffle down. So just to completely set the scene, Tromlin is basically completely wrapped the captain around his finger and is walking him through like Poirot-like, as he's like, as you can see, the body is cold to the touch. This indicates magic has been used. And at the same time, Glorpa is standing over by the fern. You think making out with it, you're not sure. There's a lot of brushing. I mean, there's like some pollination happening, maybe. I don't know what it's going on.
How the fuck is the satyr the most normal person in this group?
Hey, I'm not doing anything weird right now.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like kind of
satyr is a
dozing off
total-
in the corner.
And Copernicus is
over.
kind of mourning as things throw themselves at him half-heartedly. And Ugna and Fetid are standing back in the hallway as one of the guardsmen is questioning Ugna about what's missing from the other room, and Ugna basically is like, I don't know. And one of the guards is comforting the servant, who clearly they know each other, and the servant is like having a fairly significant breakdown. The guards are going to notice some of the magic. I don't know. Tromlin, are you going to try deliberately to keep the guards from noticing what's going on with Glorpa and Copernicus?
I will do my best. Yes.
You rolled such a good persuasion roll to keep them. That you definitely have the captain's attention.
I'll tell the captain to track them further. It's like, obviously we did not want to impede your investigation. We did do a fast look around. I apologize if that interrupts things. We do know that no money was taken, so this was obviously not that.
We'll have to check that, of course.
The door is broken down the hallway. I will also attempt to comfort the employee, the servant, with like, I'll pull my hip flask. Would you like some whiskey?
So, in the interest of time here, I think there's you have a bit of a conversation. You manage to keep the guards from. You kind of direct them out towards the room where the stuff was stolen, and keep anyone from getting overly concerned about the weird magic that's clearly actively happening in the room.
Yeah.
You kind of steer Grandpa out of this space, and Fetid gets him outside where strange things continue to happen. Anything that happens to nearby is kind of trying to throw itself at him. You actually kind of hear some like whispery hisses, like something is hissing at Copernicus that you can't see.
For Grandpa's
Normal.
own edification,
Seems normal.
do I know if this is Barb or Otto?
Great.
So you do know the flaws that you have, and you are aware of the general. I think I was going to potentially put this on the character sheet that cycles, so I think we can just say the haunting that you are generally.
Yeah.
You think this may have something to do with where you stuck the dagger.
Oh, right. Yeah. She probably wouldn't
You
like that.
feel like Barb or whoever is currently inflicting
Right.
you is not happy about the situation.
Yeah. We've hidden evidence together before, and we've played hide the dagger before. So.
In more ways than one.
You say that out loud, and Fetid is like, I don't want to know. So you two sort of exit the scene and get your weird haunting out of there. Glorpa, are you any further conversation with the plant, or are you?
I'd tell her to call me if her soil ever gets dry. Kiss her on the top and.
Excellent. You wave at each other, and then Tromlin with Ugna gets the guard sort of walked through They basically take the servant with them to get a statement to find. They want to find out what was. Do we have like an inventory of what was in this room that was broken into, and so on. And the guard captain says he would like to speak with you tomorrow in the morning and get any further information that they might be able to get from you.
Before they like I'm sorry.
No, actually, I'll let the captain know where we're camping at.
Yep.
And ask if he would like me just to come straight to his office.
In the morning, when the guards come and open the gates, he'll come and find you.
Oh shit! I just remembered. I point out to the captain. I just recalled there are 2 other people we walked to their homes last. Should probably check on them as well.
You tell them who they are.
Yes. I say there were 2 young bird folk that we picked up along the way. They seemed very addled and easily confused and distracted, and we wish to make sure they got home without getting their dumbasses in more trouble than they seem to get. Was it Heracles and Jericles?
Heracles and Heracles.
Yes.
He, as soon as you say their names, he rolls his eyes and he's like, "Oh, those rapscallions! You think they might have had something to do with this?"
No, I really don't. I'm more worried because since they traveled with us part of the way, they might be in trouble.
You get the impression he doesn't think it would be a great loss, but he sort of like will respond because of your great persuasion roll. He's like, we'll look into it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But no, I have a feeling, sir, and no disrespect intended towards them, this is beyond their capacity.
So with that, I think this is a good place to take our break.
Break
Yeah.
time.
So you all get back to the camp.
Oh, before we
And,
wrap up the
yep.
scene, actually, there's something that Fernie would like to do, and I don't know if this should happen after the break, but he would like to say that like Otto and I were such close friends. We would swap endless stories riding together in the caravan, and I would just like a moment alone with him to say goodbye. Perhaps with also his good friend, my great grandnephew Tromlin. Could we have just a moment? And he's really going to lay it on thick and wipe a tear away. And
I would say this is going to require a persuasion roll because you
Very
want
well.
them to leave you alone with the murder victim.
Yeah.
While they're in the middle of an investigation.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yep.
Do I have? Can I spend inspiration? What can I burn to make this happen?
You can spend an inspiration for this.
All
You
right.
can spend an inspiration for this.
Okay.
Inspiration spent.
And this is, I'm going to actively oppose you because this is very much against what the guard should be doing.
21.
That will make it. I rolled pretty well, but not that well.
Oh, 23 actually. Sorry, I did my math wrong.
Okay. With the 21.
Tromlin, do you want in on this or not?
No, thank you.
So you convince this while the guard captain has gone down with the servant to the end of the hall to start talking about what's stolen there. There's just one guard or 2 guards still kind of in the room, and you convince them that you just want a moment alone to pay your respects, and that it's okay because your grandson Tromlin will be there, which of course isn't okay at all, but you manage to convince them otherwise. And they sort of just step out of the room and turn their backs. And what do?
Speak with dead.
Nice.
Excellent.
That's a good choice.
And I'm gonna also just do a little scribble in my book.
You know what? I think I'm gonna because this is a little bit of a retcon and it's going to take some time. Since you were kind of already being escorted out to deal with the whole haunting, and if you did this now, the haunting might become much more obvious and cause some problems. I'm going to hang on to those rolls, and you will have your opportunity to do this, but it will do it the next day when you're coming in to do an investigation or to help with the investigation. Okay? Just that way we can take our break, because it's going to take a little bit as you ask questions of the dead.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so you're all back to the camp. Diomedes and the others are there anxiously wondering what's going on, but we'll pick up, or you basically tell them, we don't really need to role play through that, and we'll pick up after a rest in the morning when you get rid of your exhaustion.
A long
and
rest.
and after the break.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
Right.
good.
Okay.
Going to break, everyone. See you later.